say your definition of editing?
Editing is sort of the final stage before you get to show your film to the world, basically, or the small audience on YouTube that will eventually watch it. It's piecing together all the hard work of filming, spending a few days actually putting it in order and exporting it for the finished version.
Hello friends from the intertubes, welcome back to the King Online Film School historical lesson number, well, it's not important. What is important is what we're about to talk about, which is editing. Now, the earliest films did not employ any uses of editing. It was simply one static, locked shot. Much like the example I'm about to show you. Richie, I told you not to throw the leaves. Please do not throw them anymore.
You want to play catch?
No, I don't want to play, no. I don't want to play catch. Now with the ball, now with the ball. No. That was technology. You see what we did there? We took a shot, moved it, edited it, and now we have something to work with. A lot different than those films that had no stories and only one shot. So, of course, we all know in 1898 that Robert W. Paul, British filmmaker, made the first film called Come Along Do to use more than one shot. So check it out. And now, today we have everything that we need for the modern editing process. The initial editing of all films was done with a positive or happy copy of the film sad, or negative, which was called the film work print. This process referred to the editor actually physically cutting and pasting together the pieces of film on a machine with a viewer, such as a moviola. Today, most films are edited digitally in editing software programs such as Adobe Premiere Pro, Avid, or Final Cut Pro. So basically, we're all professionals here. These programs allow the editor to pick and choose clips in a non-sequential order. Sounds chaotic. This type of editing is called non-linear editing. Big surprise. Interestingly, things like the razor tool in Final Cut Pro or the bins that are used for organizing clips all pay tribute to the earliest forms of film editing.
Based upon your idea of editing or directing, how would you say editing came about?
Okay, it's a big question. I mean, there's lots of sort of changes in editing. Cinema used to be very sort of like theatrical, and it's sort of the way it was filmed. It was like lots of like large sets and a camera that was still, and action would play out in front, and then they'd just move the set on. And it wasn't until somebody called Lev Kuleshov did an experiment where he'd show, for example, the face of a man, a plate of food, and then the face of the man again, and he would ask the audience to put their sort of connotation onto what the man was thinking when he looked at the plate of food, whether he's hungry, whether it's just like that food looks disgusting or whatever. It sort of showed that audiences could be taken away from the linear process and sort of make their own minds up about the shots that came in between. That sort of moved on a little bit. A guy called D.W. Griffith really sort of pushed the boundaries there. And he wasn't an editor, he was a director, and quite a controversial director, but because similar to Kubrick and preceding Kubrick by decades, he wanted technology to move on so he could get the shots and the films and the editing that he wanted to sort of show his stories. So he paid a lot of people, or actually encouraged funding for a lot of people to sort of take the technology on. This editing then sort of moved to sort of the Russian school of film, and they came up with montage editing, which is very similar to sort of editing we know today. Lots of quick cuts on action, match cuts, jump cuts, point of view cuts, all things like that. So that's sort of like the basics of editing, and obviously it keeps progressing and changing, depending on different types of films. Edgar Wright's a really good filmmaker, he uses quick edits, pan whips and cuts and things like that for things. So it is continuing, but they're the main sort of proponents of it, I would say.